All right. Hello, everyone. This is David Zarza, and I wanted to welcome you to Psychic Gym 101, The Basics. And I wanted to walk you through the system for a moment, because there is a chat window where you can type in comments, and there should also be a pane for questions down below where the main screen is being shown. And I'll be alternating from this camera view where you can see me speak and the screen share view, which will show you the presentation that I've created for the session. And I'm going to get started by, hi, Evelyn, I see you're there. If you don't mind just saying hi in the chat window, that would be awesome. Hi, Bonnie, good to see you. And let me start the little presentation for a moment. I mean, immediately. Kelsey, hello. Thank you, thank you. I'm really excited because this is the first time I'm doing one of these webinars specifically for Psychic Gym. They've only been live in person and usually done privately, you know, in the homes of people who invite me in, have a group of their friends, and we get very psychic together. Hello, Edith. Good to see you there too. And at any time during the presentation, you know, this is what I like to share with my clients when I meet with them one-on-one. I'm very informal, I'm very casual. So at any time, feel free to stop me, interrupt me, or ask any questions, okay? I'll keep an eye on all the technology that is on the screen for me. But if I miss something, just go ahead and, you know, blurt something out in the chat window. So let's begin with the basics. So a little bit about me before we get into the material. My name is David Zarza. I'm a psychic medium, you know, an intuitive life coach. And I can't believe when I was writing this down that I've been doing this for more than 20 years, being a psychic and a life coach. I, I really like that picture. I want to give a shout out to Ingrid Papa Sheldon here in Seattle. She took that photo. She has amazing light in her studio, and just a thank you. And I specialize in relationships, you know, all sorts, parent-child, romantic relationship, sibling-sibling, coworker-boss, you name it. Those are the type of issues that I like to tackle most, because wouldn't we all like to know what other people's intentions, motivations, and feelings about us may be? And I also do predictions, you know, about the future, looking into other people's lives, looking ahead. And I've been facilitating Psychic Gym since 2007. I could not believe that either when I wrote that down, but it's true. I still remember the first group was in Mountain Lake Terrace. These two beautiful women walked into my office when I was in Edmonds, and they said, you know, is there any way you can join a group of our friends and us and teach us a little bit about what you do? And so we did. And I think it was more than 6 months back then, before it was even an official program, before I even had a handbook or workbooks. And we had so much fun, you know. There were all sorts of people there, from professional consultants, school principals, hypnotherapists, acupuncturists, biomedical researchers, engineers, travel agents. It was just a really cool, fun group. And ever since then, you know, like I was saying earlier, I've been meeting with private groups, sharing this information and getting them in touch with their awesome psychic abilities themselves. And that's what that last statement there is. You know, I'm focused on helping others master their innate abilities. So here, the Psychic Gym course, just so you guys know, because it's what this webinar sprouted from, is that it focuses on spiritual development via the practices, ideal for beginners as well as novices who desire mastery. You know, all the lessons are practical and powerful. And just so you guys know, let me switch back to the camera view so that you guys can see me. Oops. Oops. Sorry. I'm just getting used to this all. I come from a unique perspective, I think, because I don't see psychic abilities as supernatural or paranormal at all. Instead, I see them as completely natural, so normal that they should be a bigger part of our lives. And I always like to start out my teachings by telling my students that I approach this, psychic abilities, spirit communication, mediumship abilities, from an intellectual perspective. You know, I see these talents as intellectual abilities. You know, when you're able to be in such deep integrity within yourself that you can absolutely tell when information is coming from you versus when it's coming through you, that's what makes the difference between an insight versus something that we're, you know, making up or just, you know, getting from out of the air. That might not be true. So going back, here we go. So do the presentation. The Psychic Gym series, just so you guys know, you can check it out on my website, or if you Google Psychic Gym David Zarza, it'll take you right to the page. It'll show you options to go to the page. There's different levels. There's fundamentals, unlimited, and this year I'm actually combining the two, making them, you know, super concentrated, making it a super concentrated series, Mastery and Ascension. We're not going to really talk about mastery and ascension. We're focused more around some fundamental tools, okay? And this is how I start, you know, the rules of the gym. These are some of the basic things. The reason I called it Psychic Gym is because I like to imagine that just like we have gyms, you know, focused on physical fitness, conditioning, strength, to work out our bodies, we don't really have much of a place to practice with our spirits. And that's the purpose of Psychic Gym, you know, is to show you that you can have a safe place to practice these skills. You can have a place where you can learn more about these spiritual, intellectual abilities, and where you can get real-time feedback, you know, where you can learn in very practical ways. And you will see through one of the exercises that we will do today that you are gifted in this way. You really are. So let me know how you guys are doing in the chat, okay? Oh, hi, Errol. I see that. I see you there. So back to the rules. So the most important one, and do let me know if you can't see the text on here, okay? I think you can, but I just want to make sure. The most important rule, that's why it's in bold, is that you must release the need to be right, okay? Release the need to be right. And I'll tell you why after I finish all these rules. Be present. You must be present. You must be in integrity, in inner alignment with yourself, right? And what that means, we're going to get into a little more deeply later, but that is one of the most critical steps. Be awake and aware. So don't come in tired. Don't come in having had some alcohol or some other, substances. We're in Washington State here in Seattle, so, there's a lot of stuff that's legal here that isn't in certain states. So be awake and aware. Rely on your strengths, and we're going to cover that. So I'm not going to go too deeply into it right now. Be open to being surprised, very importantly, because what's implied there is that you let go of expectations. Okay. Next is love what is, literally all of it, every single part of it, especially you. And then accept the universe in you. And remember to have fun. Always remember to have fun. Okay? So release the need to be right. I have to explain that. So what I noticed when I was a baby psychic, really just starting out, is because I came from a scientific background, I literally did psychological research at UCLA in a few different labs with different professors, different researchers. So I approached this psychic stuff in my life in much the same way. I basically said, I challenged the universe, actually, because to me, the universe is a being, an entity, a source. It is another name for God for me. So you can call it whatever you want, for me, the universe. So I challenged the universe. I said, universe, if this stuff is real, right? If I truly am psychic, then I want you to prove it. I literally said that because that's how I relate to the universe, like a person. And so I approach every single session with a client from the intention that the universe had to prove to me that these abilities were real. So how I promised I would show up to the universe is that I would be present, be awake and aware, that I would have fun with it. Although it's not until now that I have the most fun with it, because back then I hadn't released the need to be right. There was a part of me that was incredibly committed to making sure that I was absolutely right, that I wasn't wrong. And I saw how flawed that thinking was, because we're not perfect, and so wrong information or an incorrect interpretation will happen. But I did notice that the universe made every effort to prove to me that the information that was coming through me from it was true and correct. And my clients, with their acknowledgments, with their feedback, would tell me so. Even now, some of you guys have seen me in session, so you know how I work. And have fun. Okay, this is a fun experience, because in a way, it's like playing with toys that you never even knew you had. It's like getting to enjoy a side of you that you've never been able to share with the world, or get to know yourself. And I see Evelyn sharing, I'm good, smiling and enjoying. Thank you. And Bonnie, I feel scared to say what I see because it was hard to believe it's real. Absolutely. I totally get it. And I was just talking to another client about this, that the fear about sharing what it is you're seeing or perceiving, or getting, must be overcome. It is the risk you must take, and it is the risk you must continue taking in order to prove to you that what you are receiving is correct and relevant for the person you are delivering it to. And the more times that you take that risk, you take that leap and you share, the more confidence you will build just by doing that. Okay. If you're absolutely accurate and correct, even more, right? That's icing on top of that confidence. So I would challenge you to share it, share more. And here's why. Oops. When you're receiving a package, when you're getting a delivery from like the mailman or the UPS person, do you need them to know what's in the package in order for you to receive it? I would assert that the answer is no. That's the same thing with this type of information, with these types of insights, is you just go with it. You're just supposed to take the package and give it to the intended recipient. Okay? It's up to them to, number one, receive it, and number two, unpackage it, open it, and then three, interpret it, keep it, or toss it out. That's not your job anymore, to make sure that they get it. But there will be a part of you that wants to make sure that they get it, that they do something with it. But that's the awesome thing about being human, right? Is that it's all up to free will. We get to choose. So I wanted to share a little bit about your spirit and how it plays a part in everything. Okay? So your spirit, your body, and your mind, all of these together form your system. And I'll come back to this. Okay? But your system is your mind, your body, and your spirit. That energetic counterpart of you, that that part of the universe that you have been entrusted with in this life as you. There's this concept that I use in my coaching about your moment. And I have people visualize, in order to see what an honor it is to live this amazing life, even in those hard moments, even in those challenging times. Because the universe literally gave you a moment in time and space, the place where you were born. Imagine like this little cube, right? Or this little gem. I thought I had one here. Okay. No, I don't. But this little gem that you're entrusted with. And throughout your life, it keeps getting changed. It keeps getting seasoned. It keeps getting colored. It keeps getting imbued with experiences, so that during the time of your transition, you're passing out of this life. You give it back, and it is changed forever. You give that moment back to the universe, and it is changed forever. And if you think about it, right, not just you, but the hundreds and thousands and millions of people that have ever lived, are living, and ever will live, it's an incredible evolution machine that we're littering in very good ways space and time with these moments that are forever different. I don't know, it just blows my mind, right? And your spirit is what we focus on, because your spirit and your mind, actually your body too, because let's get into the actual psychic strengths. So here you go. Your psychic strengths, okay? You always begin with your strength. Here are the psychic strengths as I see them, Okay, these have French names, but that's not where we're focusing. That's not what we're focusing on right now. Psychic feeling, emotions and sensations. Psychic hearing, voices, music, and other sounds. Psychic knowing, thoughts and insights. Psychic seeing, visions, images, people, and symbols. Psychic dreaming, subconscious insights while you're not you're consciously aware usually. And psychic healing, influencing another system, including your own. So I want you to notice those, feeling, hearing, knowing, seeing, dreaming, and healing. Okay. And I'm going to turn on a poll down below. You might have a poll tab on the screen that you're looking. There's actually two polls. The first asks you, what is it that you would most like to learn from Psychic Jim? And somebody already answered it, saying all the above, but if you can please answer that question, it'll sort of let me customize this for you. I will know what to focus on. And then the other poll is if you've had psychic experiences in the past, what have they mainly been like for you? Mostly visions, colors, figures, and images, mostly emotions, physical sensations, or feelings that weren't yours, mostly sounds like voices, music, or ambient noises, mostly dreams that come true or seem oddly familiar or lots of deja vu, mostly thoughts that appear in your mind, ideas playing out in the theater of your imagination or inner narration that's not prompted by you, mostly the ability to give energy to others to help them heal or to just aid their current situation, whatever it might be. Or I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just here to see if I'm crazy or not. So go ahead and respond to the poll if you could. That second one too. So I'm just seeing the results come in. And at the moment, it seems like most of you guys want to know how to control these abilities and use them in your life. Others want to help other people. Some of you want to make better decisions for yourself and your loved ones. And of course, all of the above. I love that. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes for you to share your response in the second poll, because I want to know what your natural strength might be, because it's important for the exercise that we're going to be focusing on next. So go ahead and take a moment to respond. Excuse me. And Evelyn, can you vote for more than one, but not all of the above? I think you can. If not, you can jot it down in the chat window, which ones you believe you've experienced. Okay, so just taking what you guys have answered, mostly emotions, physical sensations, or feelings that weren't yours. This I would say whoever answered this, whoever responded as this one, you're probably natural in psychic feeling. Mostly sounds like voices, music, or ambient noises. That person is more of a psychic hearing type person. Mostly dreams that come true or seem oddly familiar or lots of deja vu. Psychic dreaming for sure. Mostly thoughts that appear in my mind, ideas playing out in the theater of my imagination or inner narration that's not prompted by me. That's definitely psychic seeing. That's my strength. Psychic seeing. I'm sorry. No, that's psychic knowing. The thoughts that just appear in your mind. Visions, colors, figures, and images, that's psychic seeing. That's the one that is more like me. Okay, and I see, I know. Kelsey, there isn't a spot for mostly all of the above, but that's okay because I want you to focus on the one that is mostly true, okay, more often than the others. Evelyn, visions, yes. Voices, deja vu, energy to others, absolutely. And so I want you to focus on the one that that is the most consistent or that is the easiest one for you to receive from. Vanessa. Oh, hi, Vanessa. Okay, no problem. That's okay. Not sure of his strengths. That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to absolutely know, okay? Even though there is one that you are naturally stronger at. And let me get into that right now. So always focus on your natural strengths because doing so allows you to gauge your progress and the other psychic senses develop in kind. Here's what I mean, okay? And I'm going to come back to this screen in a moment. A lot of people want the flash bang, okay? They want the neon letters, you know, they want to see spirits and ghosts, people's auras, things like that. That doesn't happen for everyone, unfortunately. And that's okay. You just have to know what it is you desire, but start at the place that you are naturally strong at, okay? Because the universe naturally gifted you with that, okay? So let's say, I'm going to go back to the graphic. Let's say you rate knowing as the stronger one, okay? But what you really want is dreaming, but it's naturally low, all right? The more you focus on knowing, the more the others develop in kind, okay? So regardless of which one you want to improve or regardless which one you want to strengthen, focus on your strength, whichever one that might be, okay? And the reason for that is because, again, if you start there, the others develop in kind. And you kind of have to trust me on that here because I have seen year after year, you know, psychic gym after psychic gym, that there's one that people want, you know, and there's the one that they're gifted with. And sometimes it causes them stress because, and I'll give you an example. There's this one woman. Oh, by the way, this sheet right here, this is for you to just, you know, see where you fall on each. Which are you dominant with? Which is your subdominant? And which one is the one that you desire most? Your ideal psychic strength. Because you need to know that. Okay? So let me tell you the story. So there was this woman, okay? Her name is Nancy. And I don't know if you're watching right now, Nancy, but if you are, I want to thank you. Because Nancy could not see, could not imagine, could not visualize, okay? This was just a challenge of hers, a challenge for her. And every time I would lead the class through an exercise of visualizing, you know, of imagining, of picturing, you know, in your mind, because I was trying to exercise the seeing sense, she would get frustrated. You know, she would get so irritated because she couldn't get it. She couldn't get anything. We found out that she was high in psychic feeling naturally. Okay. So I said, you know what? I'm going to present the material for psychic feeling, even though we're exercising psychic seeing. And then there came a day really soon after that where she was like, oh my gosh, you know, I actually saw something like, oh, it just blew her mind. And it's funny because she didn't think she was psychic. She thought she was kind of intuitive. But after the psychic gym trainings that she went through and some other, courses, she now has a healing practice, a psychic healing practice. Okay, that's what she does now. And she didn't think she was psychic, which is kind of funny. So let me see. Going back to the graphics. So right where you are, okay? Here's what happens during psychic gym, okay? And again, this class is basics, so I'm just sharing about what happens in psychic gym, and we're going to go through an exercise, which I'm really excited about. We usually start with a check-in. Oh, you can't see my screen yet. We usually start with a check-in. We talk about where we're at, how our energy is, where our focus is at, because we want to settle into the group. Okay. Next is a teaching portion, and this is where we have a concept, a tool, a technique, or a practice that we use for that specific session. And these are to stretch what you know, to challenge you in unexpected ways, and will cause you to learn more about you, your system, and your relationship with the universe. And let me take a quick moment right here just to interrupt and look at you. You beautiful people. What I love about how I created Psychic Gym, or the format which I use to teach Psychic Gym, is you don't have to believe in psychic phenomena at all. You don't even have to believe that there's a divine or a God or the universe. You don't have to believe in any of that. If you can believe in the validity of your feelings, in the truth of your thoughts as you perceive them, and if you can trust your ears, you can learn how to be psychic, okay? Because I have found throughout all these years that the people who believe are already psychic actually have not as easy of a time as those who are incredibly intellectual, those who don't necessarily believe, who take my similar approach, sort of, universe, prove to me that this is real. So the more intellectual, the more analytical you might be, the chances are it will be easier for you to develop your psychic abilities. Weird, right? But it's true. It's what I found. That doesn't mean that, that's the truth for everybody. It's just what I have noticed, okay, in all of my classes. So going back here to the actual experience. So we learned something, right? I teach the class. We learn a new tool, and then we go through an experience where I teach you how to use the tool, okay? I like the medical model of watch one, do one, teach one. So that's the approach that I take here in gym. So the experience is really cool because you get to play with the tool, play with the idea, play with the concept, have an experience so that it's even more real for you. And often real life volunteers are involved. And I want to thank you, wonderful volunteers who come into the classes and allow yourselves to be sensed, to be seen, to interact with the students. It's really amazing. And thank you again. Moving forward. So processes, tools, and exercises. This is what we cover in Psychic Gym, okay? This is where the stretching and the growing happens. We do a lot of meditations, like raising your energy, getting into different trance states, universal integration, which is really important. It's key. The bridge, it's a meditation for spirit communication so that you can, you can reconnect with your loved ones on the other side. Heart-centered meditations and others. Some processes are like the daily spiritual practice. That one is vital. That one is so important that it literally, I encourage it to be literally daily. Opening up, the process of opening up. How the heck do you even do that, right? We cover in Psychic Gym. A deeper trust. And what I mean by that is the process to trusting the universe or trusting your source of information more deeply. Expanding your bandwidth. And what that means is we are naturally drawn to specific information. And I'm going to go back here to one of the chat windows, and I believe it was Bonnie that shared this. I feel scared to say what I see because it was hard to believe it's real. Many people are scared of sharing what it is they see, because often what they end up seeing is something that appears negative or scary or bad, you know, like accidents. Like I have one specific client, love her. She is hesitant to explore psychic abilities because she sees accidents. You know, one time she foresaw the need for tires for her vehicle, and she got them changed. You know, contrary to the opinions of her spouse. And then, like the same day, I think it was, she saw on the news that the exact road that she takes every single day, there was an accident that happened where a person's tires blew out on them because they needed replacing. So she has seen me often, and I love her. And it's okay. She doesn't have to explore it, you know, but she can. And if you seem to tune in to specific things, you know, like bad or scary things, or only things about a person's family, or only, you know, their inner feelings and emotions, you can expand your bandwidth so that you see even more, you know, like facts about their life, facts about their past, spirits of loved ones around them, all that good stuff. Some tools. Actually, going back to processes, energetic counterpart, that's basically, you know, how do you activate your spirit? How do you fully trigger it to become even more alive, even a stronger part of you? Blind asking. Blind asking is a process which we're going to focus on today, and others. You know, tools like imagination as your navigator, higher self, true self, imagine a life. That one is really fun, by the way, and I can talk to you more about it. Love connection, life is but a dream, out of body travel, and others. Concepts, your seventh sense, infinite yous and infinite thems, the field, and others like that. And again, I have to emphasize this, okay, because we're about to jump into the exercise. Release the need to be right. I know you want to, but release it, okay? Release it. Just open up. So you have two minds. One is always dominant. It is your psychic mind. You know, this is the one that you want to keep engaged. You want to be receptive, open, aware, expansive, allowing. You also have a rational mind, okay? You want to keep this one not as engaged, so that it can just be observing, calm, not judging, not reasoning at the moment. And often I play music during Psychic Gym sessions, instrumental, nothing vocal, because I have found that that music can also keep your rational mind occupied, while your psychic mind just has more free reign and can explore. And I want to know in the chat, if you could you share with me if you know what I mean by keeping your psychic mind open, but your rational mind relaxed? Okay, so Evelyn said yes. You know, I'm just really curious because I want to make sure that this makes sense. And I'll keep noticing the chats. And you also have, and I'm not talking about brains here, okay? Because brains are just strictly sort of body focused. Although we do have two brains, we have a head brain and a heart brain. And if you want to learn more about your heart brain, I would suggest you Google the Heart Math Institute. It's an awesome organization. Okay, so I'm going to breeze through this part really briefly because I want to get to the exercise and I want to honor your time. Other powers, and this one I want these I want you to really listen to because I want to know which ones of these you would love to have. Okay, which one of these would you love to just have like tomorrow? So Psylocke, being able to lock onto a target, and a target is a person, place, or thing, or time, and holding them in your awareness, okay, at a distance. They don't have to be in front of you. Sidetrack, it's similar to remote viewing where you perceive a target at a distance and broaden your view of them, okay, and this is what we're going to be exercising tonight. Synav, it's likened to leafing through the pages of someone's book of their life, forwards, backwards, and especially the present. It requires an awareness of time, a keen sense of awareness of time. Psyscan, it's similar to medical intuition or the perception of energetic and physiological imbalances, leaving a person's system susceptible to illness or disease. And physiological, I spelled incorrectly. That's kind of embarrassing. Psytouch, similar to psychometry, the ability to glean information from touching an object, person, or a place. So I want you to look at those and I want you to share with me in the chat which one you would love to have access to right now and why. Yeah, I love what you guys are sharing. Ooh, Errol wants Psylocke. Yes, locking onto a target and holding them in your awareness. Well, you're going to get some experience tonight, Errol. What else would you guys like to have? I'll let you guys respond a little. Take a moment. Oh, yes. Vanessa, Sidetrack and Psylocke. Yeah, Sidetrack is pretty awesome, and you're going to get to experience it today. Bonnie, Psytouch. Errol, Psytouch. Kelsey, Synav. Ooh, yes. I got to tell you, Kelsey, this one, Synav is my favorite, okay? It's not a trick question that I ask which one you're looking for, but Psylocke is sort of like the gift with purchase when you exercise any of these abilities that you have. It just happens because that's how I teach you. But Synav is really, really awesome because you get to play in time. And a lot of people have differing opinions about prophecy or future vision. Because time is tricky. I would agree on that. And Vanessa, Sidetrack, Psylocke. Yes. Sidetrack is pretty awesome. Get ready for some experience. Evelyn, Psytouch. Yes. Oh my goodness. And just so you guys know about Psytouch, let me get the camera back on my face just so you guys know. Wood is an excellent recorder of emotions and experiences. Strange, right? We think video is the best, but through time, wood, which is kind of sad when books burn up or buildings burn down because they can retain a lot of memory, a lot of energy. That's why so many woods or so many homes feel haunted, because they're if your energy is queued up enough, you can activate a memory within a home that's not yours. It's really neat, and that's what most people believe. They might live in a haunted house. It is not always true that it is haunted. It just has really strong recordings, and intense emotions cause those recordings to imprint on that wood or imprint on that material. So moving forward, universal integrity. We have to talk about universal integrity because it is just so important. Universal integrity is the result of consistent and natural inner alignment. which leads to alignment with the universe. Okay, go ahead and read these and tell me, do you believe you are often in integrity? Not universal integrity, but in integrity with yourself. And to me, integrity is beyond honesty, beyond morality. It is actually the alignment between your thoughts and your words, between your feelings and your actions. You know, that you basically follow through on what it is you're intending, you're desiring, you're wanting, you're being called to. That's what being in integrity is. It's a visceral experience more than just a mindset. And universal integrity is deeper than that, because it's when you are even more consistently in integrity, that you are in inner alignment. Oh, let me switch back so you guys can see the list. In universal integrity, your relationship with the universe deepens and gifts you with stronger spiritual abilities, like the psychic ones that I'm talking about. Psychic abilities are more easily mastered. Life is full of synchronicities, and you are filled with an effortless confidence when you are in integrity with yourself. And I gotta say, this is absolutely, yes, seriously, Errol, it requires so much honesty. Okay? It requires so much honesty. And I have to say that most people who want to help the world, want to help others or along their journey, that want to improve the situation here in this world and in the next, or in the many next ones, we actually have some of the hardest time being honest with ourselves. Mm-hmm. And I have to admit that that's me too, but that's why every single day, every single moment is another opportunity to be even more honest. Yes, Bonnie, you are not alone there. You shared you've been struggling with this lately because I know I'm not doing what I should be doing, and I feel more and more pulled to let go of what I do and move on. I know. And you have to do it, It's easier said than done. I know this, but I've got to tell you, the moment you take that jump, the moment you risk, you risk the possibility of being uncomfortable, because you will be slightly uncomfortable. The universe shows up for you. The universe is there at your back, ready to catch you. That is the truth. That is absolutely the truth. But you must be in integrity as much as possible, because the more in integrity you are, the easier it is for the universe to not only hear you, but to respond to you. That's why it's such a big deal. It really is a big deal. And this last point right there, essential integrity is what you're naturally born with. It's what, when you were a child, tells you what right and wrong feels like. Conscious integrity is when you are made aware of where you need to be honest with yourself, and you're consciously trying to correct that. You're consciously trying to cultivate that. Universal integrity is when you're effortlessly in that state more consistently. Okay? So now, let's get ready for an exercise. All right. So, I got a question, and then we're going to jump into the exercise, okay? But right now, if you guys need a drink of water, if you need to get up and stretch for a moment, I'm not going to change the screen really. I am going to, turn the camera on me. Kelsey asked, take a moment, because I'm going to take about 2 minutes to answer this question. So stretch, get some water, shift in your seat, Kelsey asked, can you elaborate on why we have a harder time being honest with ourselves? Absolutely. It's It could be a complex answer or it could be really simple. Okay, the simple answer is that we just don't like being wrong. We like being right most of the time. And so being honest with ourselves might mean that we prove ourselves wrong. The more complicated answer is that it could be that you have literally crafted a persona that pushes away all the stuff you'd rather not be seen as, that it has a blindness to the stuff that you might have been lying to yourself about, or not being honest to yourself about. And that requires a little more finessing to uncover. Yeah, but you know what? I'm here if you want me to show you what you're not being honest about. That's why people come see me, honestly. Those who don't just want to reconnect with loved ones, they want to know, like, where are they not being honest? And I tell them, because the universe wants them to be honest, wants them to be in integrity, and wants them to course correct into that wonderful state. All right. So if you can tell me in the chat that you are ready, we will go on to the exercise. Okay. So I'm just going to take a sip of water, but I'm going to be watching the chat. Let me know when you're ready. All right. Okay. You said you're ready. Let's go. So you're going to choose a target for yourself. Okay. I have chosen 3 different targets. One is called alpha, one is called beta, one is called delta. Okay. You choose the one that you're drawn to. If you're doing this with somebody else next to you, you can choose the same one. You can choose different ones, whatever you'd like. Okay. So this is called a blind target because it is unknown to you. And this target may be a person, a place, an object, or a time. All right. And before we go into the next step, I'm going to turn the camera back on to me. What was rule number 1, the most important rule for Psychic Gym? Go ahead and share it with me in the chat. The most important rule. I'm smiling because it's seriously important. Yes. Release the need to be right, guys. Okay, release the need to be right. There is a part of you right now that's saying, "Oh my gosh, which one am I going to choose because I don't want to be wrong?" Nope. Okay, let yourself be wrong. Let yourself be wrong. Okay. Right now, we're just setting your mind free. Okay, we're just setting you free. We're inviting the universe to share with us as much information as it wants, as it can deliver to us, right? We want to like turn on that faucet of connection. And in order to do that, we can't make the pipe narrow by saying only what's right can get in. We do that later, not when you're just starting. We do that in mastery. We do that in ascension. That's when it happens. Okay. Just want to make sure you have that. Number 2, this is where you enter the state. This is where you activate your psychic receptive state, the one that is most dominant in you naturally. You either enter a meditation or simply ask the universe, to open it up, to cue it up in you. And for the purpose of this webinar, because you are paying attention to what's on screen and what's being said to you, it will not be complicated, okay? So this is what I'm going to have you do after I read point number 3. Point number 3 is psychic perception. When you enter the state, and I'm going to guide you, I want you to open up to as much of the target as you'd like. See it, feel it, touch it, taste it, hear it, know it, eat it. Like you can do funny little exercises like eat the target. Imagine you're eating the target, and what does it feel like? Going into your system. The spirit, our spirit, is a little weird. It's not bound by a shape. It's not bound by a body. It's not bound by time and space. It has access to a lot of information. It is literally like the best Google ever. Because you can call it different times. You can call it different places. You can call it places that you can't even visit as a human being. But I don't want to get too far out right here because I don't want to surprise you with things you don't want to be surprised by. And by the way, there is nothing scary in what we're going to do, okay? Because here's the beautiful thing. Whenever I teach, I say a prayer to myself, and it covers my students. It covers everyone that hears these teachings, that you are absolutely protected and completely safe, that only the best, highest, and of the good can reach you. Only that, okay? So that's what we're going to go. We're going to go into psychic perception. And like I said earlier, I'm going to guide you through this process. Next, we're going to go into mundane perception, where I'm going to have you imagine you're interacting with this target, and see if it's hard or soft. Is it large or small? Is it hard or cold? Is it near or far? Is it natural or man-made? Is it tall or short? Colorful or plain? Is it textured or flat? Etc. and more, okay? Then I'm going to have you describe it. Describe what you see, and I'm going to have you put it in the chat. But here's what I don't want you to do. I do not want you to name it, okay? Do not give your target a name. All right? I want to make that clear. The last thing I want you to do is name your target, okay? I just want you to feel it, sense it, have an awareness of it, but do not call it something. Because the moment we name a thing, we sort of, we end the psychic activity that goes on in your awareness. Because it's almost like your mind locks onto a name of it, right? Like I'm thinking about something. It's wooden. It is sometimes narrow. It is useful for people. It's yellowish orange. It has a soft end on it. It's a pencil, right? The moment we say it's a pencil, it's like shoop, psychic stuff stops, and you're just stuck with pencil. You try to budget, and it's kind of hard. You're just stuck with pencil. Like what if it was, I don't know, a cane? What if it was a walking stick? What if it was a candy? I don't know, when you lock it in by naming it, it's like you limit yourself. And that's what I don't want you to do here. Okay? So we're going to do this exercise twice. First one, just a warm up. Second one, you're going to choose a second target. And that one will be the one that, we end with. So for right now, pick a target. Have some pencil and paper next to you because I want you to jot some things down. Or if you could pull up a little notepad window in your computer where you can type things in, whatever works for you. Choose a target. And when you have chosen a target, your first target, go ahead and let me know in the chat. Just one target for the first run. Alpha, beta, or delta. Okay. Name it. Alpha, beta, or delta. Okay. All right. I think that's all of you. Okay. All right. It looks like all of you guys have chosen, which is awesome. So now I want you to close your eyes. Okay. I want you to close your eyes because this is a blind target. And closing your eyes also shuts off one of your regular senses so that it is easier for your focus to shift inward. Okay. So I'm going to give you a category for your target. Listen for yours. Okay. And I'm going to give it to you after I guide you into this receptive state. So closing your eyes, taking a nice full deep breath. Just release it. Taking another nice full deep breath. Exhale fully with a sigh. Just ease yourself down. And taking another nice full deep breath. Release it with another sigh. And just notice, feel your neck relax a little more. Feel your shoulders drop a little more. And allow your jaw and face to relax as well. Notice your body, where it's at. Notice how you're breathing. And become aware of any thoughts or feelings that are running through your system. Okay? Just notice. No need to entertain them. Just notice them. And just keep focusing on your breathing. Because in a moment, you will reach a state that feels a little more relaxed and aware than you were just minutes ago. And the state might be twice as relaxed and aware as you previously were. And just let yourself get into that state. And as you ease into that state, still noticing your breathing, being aware of any thoughts or feelings that might be going through your system, allow yourself to open up. Open up to the universe, open up to guidance, open up to information all around you. You know, you can imagine like water pouring over you, like an ocean of information. You can imagine plugging in to like a cosmic internet. You can imagine just feeling like you are plugged in. You are even more aware than before. And if your target was alpha, the category is a place. The clue? It's a famous landmark. Okay? For alphas, it's a place, and the clue is a famous landmark. For betas, it is a thing, and the clue is vegetation. For betas, it is a thing, and the clue is vegetation. For deltas, it is a person. The clue is artist. For delta, it is a person, and the clue is artist. Okay? So now that you have your category and your clue, I want you to just open up. Your mind will naturally try to lock in on something, try to name what this could be, right? It might even go through names in your mind. But for right now, I want you to feel. I want you to see if you can. I want you to hear around your target. Get thoughts around it. We're activating your psychic senses right now. With your eyes closed, just reaching out into that deep unknown out there for your target. And allow whatever comes into your system to be a response, to be the thing that is the answer. Excuse me. Even if it's weird, even if it's small and subtle. Right now, I just want you to share attributes, qualities. You don't have to put it in chat. I want you to just jot it down on your piece of paper. Attributes, qualities, sensations, thoughts. Colors. Excuse me. Now we're going to take a couple of more minutes with your first target. Excuse me. Is it hot or cold? Is it rough or smooth? Is it tall or short? Is it small or large? Is it bright or subdued? Is it loud or quiet? I think I might have already said that one. Jot down notes, okay? Attributes, qualities. That's all we're looking for right now. And we're about to finish up here. And I know it probably feels fast, but that's okay. Now, when you're done with the attributes, you can even sketch. But once you're done with, the sharing, with the noting, last thing I want you to do, actually, I'll share that next. But right now, after you're done with sharing that, describe it. Try to describe what it might be. And like, for instance, if I was seeing medium height metal, light on top, heavy bass, feels man-made, looks like it's a lighting object. Last thing I would do is name it. So I'm going to call it a lamp. Okay? Do that with your target. Describe it. Last thing you do, name it. And when you're done, just go ahead and let me know by saying done in the chat, please. Okay. All right. Excuse me. Go ahead and finish up wherever you're at. I see a couple of dones, but I'm gonna wait a little longer. Okay, here's more. Go ahead, keep going. All right, looks like most everyone is done. So now we're gonna go back and choose another target, okay? Are you gonna choose alpha, beta, or delta this time? Go ahead and share in the chat whichever one you chose. Okay. Keep going, guys. Go ahead and choose. Choose, choose, choose. All right. Okay. Looks like most of you guys have chosen. So again, well, actually, this time you can watch this with me. Okay. I'm gonna make this bigger. If you chose alpha, the category is place. The clue is famous landmark. If you chose beta, the category is a thing. The clue is vegetation. If you chose delta, category is a person. The clue is artist. Okay. So now, when you're ready, close your eyes and do the same as before. And this time, I'm not going to totally guide you, but I will remind you of the categories and the clues. So let yourself drift in to that natural place, that place of trust, and allow yourself to receive information, to receive insights about your target. If you chose alpha, it is a place, a famous landmark. If you chose beta, it is a thing, vegetation. If it is delta, it is a person. They are an artist. Okay? And this time, notice what you receive. Notice what you receive. All of it. Even though it might feel weird or just seems strange, doesn't totally make sense, it's totally okay. Because we are releasing the need to be right. We just want to go for sensations, qualities, attributes, information. And I'll be quiet for a couple of minutes. All right, start to finish up. Just finish receiving, finish noting. And I describe the thing. And the last thing to do is actually name it. You don't have to, but you can. Because just know that when you name it, it's sort of like, soup, it collapses possibilities for your mind. And when you're done, you're finished, go ahead and let me know by saying done in the chat again, please. Okay, looks like most of you guys are done. Here comes the exciting part, right? The reveal. So before I reveal the targets, remember, we're going for the experience of opening up, of doing something that is most likely very unfamiliar to you. I do this many times a day, right? With many different people. I have had decades of experience, literally. So no, seriously, no pressure, no shame or blame here. Let's see what they are, okay? So for those who chose alpha, can you guys see what that is? I'll make it bigger. Alpha was Easter Island. Okay? And here's how I would review the information you received. I want you to look for descriptors that were matched. Okay? Like, did you see a lot of brown? Was there blue and white? Greens? Did you notice rough textures? Did you notice the statues? Or did you notice those round bumps right there? Here we go. Right there on the bottom. Just notice. Okay, so that was alpha. If you chose beta, bing, a pretty little pine tree. It's a pine tree. Okay, if you chose delta, bing, Beyonce. It was Beyonce. All right, so alpha was Easter Island. Beta was a pine tree. And delta was Beyonce. Okay. So now let's debrief. Share your thoughts. How was this for you? Was it easy? Was it challenging? Do you have any questions? What would you like to ask, to know, or find out? I'm going to shift the... Okay. So Bonnie, of course I have to ask, because you wrote, "Oh my gosh, this is freaking me out." What are you freaking out about? Please share if you want, if you can. You got both right. Oh my goodness. That's impressive. Let me see. Which ones do you choose? Alpha, beta, delta? Which two? Okay. That's okay, Errol. Oh, got it. Oh, that's okay, Evelyn. Interesting. Errol, notice. Oh, interesting. Okay. So Kelsey, I want you to notice, okay? So a lot of what you guys are sharing is totally common when we first do this exercise. Okay, it's your mind reaches for the familiar, which is totally fine, right? Um, because in Psychic Gym, when you're with a group of people and you have like this hive mind, it there's this energy in the room that makes it easier to lock onto these targets. It's really neat. And yeah, thank you for sharing, Errol. That's interesting. Okay, so Errol, I have to mention, because you mentioned I got floods of pics, Statue of Liberty, tall long-haired person stepping out of light, Elvis Costello, also a collie and a Napoleon with vanilla pudding. No kidding. I totally get it, right? Um, that's because your mind tries to name things immediately. Totally normal. That's what it's built to do. That's what you have literally trained it throughout your whole life to do. It's what helps you navigate through the world. Through practice, you get to release that. Okay, you get to figure out like how for you let that go, which is really exciting. It's really fun. Um, so next steps, Psychic Gym. I recommend it for you guys. And just so you guys know, Fundamentals and Unlimited is coming up. Okay. And Fundamentals is coming up. It starts in April. It's an 8-week series. If you'd like to join it, Mastery will be happening in summer. It'll be shorter. Ascension 2, not 8 weeks. And information and details can be found on my website / so it's davidzarza.com/psychic gym program, psychic-gym program. Go there, because right now there's like an early bird offer for Fundamentals Unlimited. It's the first time that I'm combining them. And that's because, well, it just feels like it would be a really good idea. So, what questions do you guys have? What thoughts do you want to share? How was this? Hi, Bonnie. I know, it's totally fun. It's fun for me too. Like even now, after having done it for so many years, it's really cool. And remember, be gentle with yourself, okay? Because if this is the first time you've even entertained the thought of something like this, congratulations. Yeah. So, any other thoughts or comments, you guys? Because, I want to tell you about some upcoming things that I'm really excited about. Here we go. If you, Errol wants to know, was anyone thinking about a Napoleon pastry? I'm always thinking about desserts. So it might have been me. So Evelyn, can you speak more about specific things for daily practice? Absolutely. So there's this practice. It's called daily spiritual practice that I always recommend my clients do. And I wrote an article for it. Okay, so it's somewhere on my website. But if you want to make it easy, send me an email saying I want my daily spiritual practice article, and I will email it to you. Okay, it's a 2-page PDF, but it has all the details in there. What I recommend to do, how consistent should it be, what not to do, and what you can expect from it. Because I recommend everyone have a daily spiritual practice. Some people already do, and they don't consider it as a spiritual practice, but it actually is. It's something that's not work. It's something that you don't have to do. It's something that you enjoy doing and that you do consistently. Because here's the reason for it. The reason we have a hard time connecting with our spirit is because we often have a damaged relationship with it. If you notice how many times you break your word to yourself, you can get an indicator as to how much work you need to put in to strengthen your relationship between you and your spirit. Okay. And is your relationship between you and your spirit, which is reflective of your relationship between you and the universe. Okay. So the daily spiritual practice is you committing to meet up with your spirit consistently and regularly so that you can strengthen that relationship, because that's where these gifts, that's where these talents, that's where these abilities originate from. So thank you for asking that question, Evelyn. Any other questions, you guys? We have a little over 3 minutes left, and I want to make sure to answer all your questions. If you have any specific things that you want to talk about specific to you, let me know. Errol, I don't know if you can see Evelyn's comment, but she says, no, Errol, nothing about Napoleon, but I was wondering if anyone was cooking smelling chicken and if anyone has a turtle to their left. Not me. Well, that's interesting. When you say turtle, what do you mean? Like, were you seeing the turtle itself, or were you seeing like the turtle shell pattern? Like, what was it, Evelyn? I'll tell you why. Oh, interesting. Well, I'll show you what's to my left, okay? And I don't know if you can see it clearly, but it's this box that has like a turtle shell type pattern, but it's metal. It's a beautiful little box. But I've been staring at it whenever I look to my left. That's so interesting. And because I have a new kitten, I do have chicken on its little plate right now, so my house smells a little bit like chicken. All right, you guys. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions or any other comments, oh, let me see. Okay. So Ellen said, "Oh, it's blue. I've been seeing that exact color all night. Is he black with green eyes?" Yes, actually, my cat is a black cat. He's sleeping. Otherwise, I would bring him over, because he's normally on my lap whenever I do webinars or whenever I Skype with my clients. So Errol, okay, so I could taste vanilla pudding. Is this just right? Okay, Errol, this might satisfy it. You probably won't believe me, but let me see, where is it? Where is it? I'll show you what's to my left. Oh, it's not here anymore. It was a recipe for a vanilla banana pudding. I'll send you a picture if you want to. Kelsey, I'm still stuck on the description you had for the lamp, metal, lit, etc., etc. So I was just glomming onto you, probably because it's the lamp that's like right in front of me, in front of my face, and probably that one in the corner, which you can't see because it's really bright. Bonnie, yes, it is yummy. Evelyn, I don't know. This probably counts, right? Because it is vanilla. It's vanilla right in front of me. You guys are funny. Okay, no more peeking into my life right now. Yes, Errol, I know. Aha. Well, you are welcome, you guys. And I hope to see you guys in Psychic Gym. But if not, oh, guess what? On the March 7th, Tuesday at 4 p.m., I'm going to be having a little Facebook Live video chat where I'm going to talk about finding your reincarnated pets. Like, how the heck do you even do that? Because you can do it. Like, I've done it. Like, my partner and I have done it twice so far. And then on March 18th, I'm going to be having a lunch social for Psychic Gym people and a Psychic Gym workout, which is basically another place where we're going to experience more of the Psychic Gym. Everybody's invited. It's a free lunch. You can bring in, a beverage or a dish that you'd like to share. It's at 12 p.m. and the workout is at 1 p.m. on March 18th. And I'll have it all on my professional Facebook page if you'd like the details. But all are welcome to that. It's no cost. I just like seeing you guys, in a relaxed, casual setting, and you can get some good food. Daliana brought some carnitas last time. Linda brought some pies. Other people brought, fruit, all sorts of food. So if you're hungry, you don't want to cook on Saturday, the 18th, just come on by for lunch. Just come on by. But make sure to tell me you're coming. Oh, and I can add you to the Facebook Psychic Gym group to get posted on all of these events because there's a lot. I know, Evelyn, you'll have to be there in spirit again. I foresee that you'll be visiting soon, even if I have to fly you out. So have a great evening, you guys. Thank you for joining me again. And I hope you enjoyed the session. All right. Let me put this back on me. So again, thank you. Have a great evening. And I will see you guys soon. And there will be other webinars like this, okay, with different tools and concepts and ideas. So if you can join me, tune in. All right, have an awesome evening. Bye-bye.